This whole TikTok situation is crazy. So we're going to talk about it. If anyone doesn't know what's going on, I'm probably going to give a kind of an overview of what has been happening with this whole TikTok thing, and I'm also going to be explaining just like my point of view on it because this stuff is just getting crazy and I just like we need to talk about it. So, it all kind of started with, the classic thing where they're talking about TikTok getting banned. You hear this like once a year, once every 6 months at this point, but this time it really seemed like it was actually going to happen. Like the court case was progressing, they were really going to ban TikTok this time around. So a lot of people started preparing, a lot of people started debating whether or not it should happen. I even put out a poll on the channel like, do you think it should be bad or how do you feel about it being banned? It's a lot of mixed opinions. Of course, there's a lot of like boomers that are like, "Oh, TikTok needs to be banned because it's not good for the youth and it's brain rotting." And here's the thing. Yeah. Yeah, it is. It is. Like would the world probably be better without all this short form content where you can just sit there and scroll for hours and basically accomplish nothing? Yes, of course. Like no one's debating that. Here's the thing. People are not quite the smartest when it comes to these kind of things and they think that banning TikTok is the solution to that. Everyone's like, "Oh, TikTok's gone. It's going to be great for the world." What's Instagram Reels? What's YouTube Shorts? What's all this other stuff, huh? What's all that? People act like there are not other avenues that accomplish the exact same thing as TikTok. Um, that's the problem too. And even if TikTok was to be banned and these other things didn't exist, something would just get created. Now, now that this has been introduced to the world and people are like, oh yeah, like now that we see that we can do this and we just waste time on it, it's an addiction. Everyone wants to do it. Even if TikTok got banned and all these other things didn't exist, somebody would just come along and make the next version of TikTok because that's what people crave and you'd make a lot of money by doing that, someone would do it. Unless they somehow just ban that as a whole, but they're not going to do that because that's not why they're banning TikTok. That's not something that you can actually do. So, to anyone that's thinking this is some great blessing upon the world, I have some bad news for you. It's just it's just not. It's probably not really going to make a dent other than to people that specifically use TikTok and stuff like that or like it's really just more of like a an optics thing. Like you'll be like, "Oh, TikTok's banned," but really TikTok's not actually banned. Um yeah, it's like you can take the man out of the city, but you can't take the city out of the man. It's just like that. It's like it's already ingrained in the kind of lifestyle that a lot of people in this generation are living. There's no way you can actually just take it away. Besides that, though, that's a lot of why people are saying that it could actually be good, but the real reason it's being banned is because, of course, of TikTok's ties to China. TikTok has quite a few. It's owned by its parent company, which I believe is called ByteDance. Correct me if I'm wrong, but that is a China-based company, and the reason why it is being banned is because the US does not want to, China to harvest all this data from the users and, do whatever they want with it. And everyone, that's another situation where people are going to be like, "Oh, that's so great. Like, yeah, our data should be protected." Or I'm a hard-nosed American. I think that I don't want my data being given to China. I need to keep my data to myself. No one should have my data. Well, here's the problem. Everyone else has your data. It's just not going to be TikTok. The thing is, the reason why they're wanting to ban TikTok is because all these other companies like Meta, YouTube, everything like that, Google, everyone else wants to harvest your data. But guess what? Those companies are in the US. They say, China can't have your data. We want it's got to be to us. We need your data for ourselves. No, we can't give it away. No, no. Now we can have a debate about who's more trustworthy with said data, where it's going to be the American government or the Chinese government. We can argue about that all day, but that's not what this is about. The point again is that people are thinking that this is going to be a solution to the problem, but the problem exists in so many different areas once again. So it's just not really going to fix anything, even though they think it is. Um, Here's where stuff starts getting really interesting. So everything progresses enough to the point where everyone thinks like, okay, TikTok is going to be banned, like the legislation is passing, like TikTok will be banned, like this is happening. It's not like oh, is it going to happen anymore? It's 100% TikTok's going bye-bye. Everyone's preparing, everyone said their goodbyes on TikTok. They're saying, "Oh, this is my last TikTok." Everything's going like that. Everyone's thinking they're switching over. People are already starting to switch over to, ironically, other Chinese apps. One of them I think is called Red Note, which I just think that's hilarious that they're banning TikTok because of its ties to China. And immediately what happens is everyone just starts using a Chinese knockoff of TikTok, which is because in China they don't actually use TikTok much. It's more about this Red Note and other stuff like that. But I don't know. I just think that's super funny that as soon as TikTok gets banned, and the reason it's getting banned is because they don't want to sell all this info to China, everyone immediately hops on this Chinese version of TikTok. Just kind of hilarious to me. But so what happens is this. Everyone's thinking, oh, it's gone. TikTok's over. Everyone's prepared themselves, mentally prepared, like, all right, TikTok's gone. It's going to be done for. At the last second, in the midnight hour, the savior, the savior of the people comes and saves TikTok in the midnight hour, just as it's about to be gone. Who is the savior, do you ask? None other than Donald J. Trump. This man, this man came in basically as soon as he became president. He became president on what I think the 20th, and TikTok was supposed to be banned at the end of the 19th. This dude came in on the 20th, instantly unbanned it. I wouldn't even be surprised if this was his first, sorry, not his last, his first act as president. They said, "So, Donald, you've been sworn in, and what do you plan to do for your first act as the president of the United States?" And this guy says, "We are going to unban TikTok." It's just like you just gotta laugh. The first thing this guy does is he comes in and he just goes and he's gonna unban TikTok. Now, of course, very smart play by him. Way to get the all the people on your side as soon as you come in. Like I'm willing to bet that he supported all of these. He was just letting it, biding his time, waiting. He's like, oh, here we go. Everyone's gonna everyone's gonna think TikTok is banned, and then I'm gonna come in and I'm gonna save it, and everyone's gonna think I'm really cool. Everyone's gonna be like, wow, this Donald Trump guy is really really the president that we need. Anyway, here's where the situation gets even funnier and even more complicated. It's not over yet. I promise you it's not even done yet. Now, TikTok has been unbanned in the United States. Who do you think would probably just be ecstatic, overjoyed about this? China. It's back. TikTok's back. The company's not banned. The app's not banned in the United States. They can continue to harvest data. They can continue to make money. No, China's pissed. China is pissed about this. They were prepared for it to be banned. They were ready for everything to be banned. And then here's where the situation gets even funnier. This unbanning of TikTok is only temporary. It's only for I think it's about 75 days until they uh, can renegotiate a new deal is kind of the wording that's being used. So what kind of deal are they trying to negotiate? Well, what Mr. Trump wants is for TikTok to sell a 50% stake to somebody based in the United States. And that is why China is so mad because they don't want to do that. They're like, oh, we don't want to just sell part of our company to someone in the United States. But that's what Trump's asking for in order to have it remain unbanned. This wasn't some benevolent act where he was like, oh, I'm going to save TikTok. No, of course not. He wants to monopolize TikTok. He wants to gain power over TikTok. He wants the US to have that. He wants the US to own at least half of TikTok rather than it to be 100% ownership in China. This was a power play in order to gain push ownership of TikTok over to the United States barrier. That's what this was all about. Don't even get it twisted. No one was thinking that Trump was just trying to he's just like, "Oh, I'm just going to save TikTok." Like this guy's like 80 years old. Like those people all hate TikTok. Um but what's funny is so China is not happy about this. They don't want it at all, and it's quite interesting to see how this is going to play out now that this is everything that's unfolded. And the even funnier thing is that we've got to the point where Trump is threatening, of course, his infamous tariffs, which I definitely have some words about those, but that will be for another video. Let's not talk about that right now. But he is threatening to just spam tariffs on China, basically, if and he's kind of saying like, guys, like he's being all cheeky. This TikTok thing, this TikTok thing doesn't work out. Might have to put some tariffs on you. We wouldn't want that to happen, now would we? Anyways, I don't really have much else to say on this situation. I just wanted to talk about it because I think it's both hilarious and insane at the same time. And this is also just to give an update to those who are not up to date on the situation. But yeah, we're definitely gonna be doing a lot more videos like this on the channel where we just kind of talk about stuff, especially current events like this. But stuff that interests me, I'm not just gonna be like a news channel, just things that I think are either funny or cool or something. It's gonna depend on kind of what the vibe is. But if you like this video, leave a like, and if you want to see more videos like this, then subscribe down there. Leave a comment on what you think about this whole situation. Do you just wish TikTok was gone? Are you happy it's back? Let me know in the comments. And let me know how you think this is all gonna play out. Do you think China's eventually gonna sell, or do you think nothing's gonna happen and it's just gonna end up getting banned again, but with the delay of like another 70 days? I don't know. Let me know what you think in the comments, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.